Hello, welcome to Ask Us. My name is Noel and this is my wife Gigi.
Hello.
We're already grandparents.
Doesn't look like it, I hope.
And we have 2 kids. My daughter, our daughter is Kara. She's 28.
Kara is married. She's not with us anymore. Of course, she has her own family. And then Marco is our son, who's still single, and he's 23 years old.
And na-mention namin na mga lolo't lola na kami. And our granddaughter is 2 years old. And our grandson is coming sa September.
About to be born this September.
So we just want to say that we're not perfect parents. Obvious naman po yan. And we're not experts. We're going to talk about child training. Of course, there is a principle that we follow from the Word of God. But there are applications that are mainly personal, although by the grace of God, turned out effective.
I hope.
I hope.
And also, not only the Bible, we
Yeah.
also have
Our leaders,
the
the
leaders
people
who helped us
Yeah.
along the way, who went ahead of us, who I hope
coached us also.
Yes,
No? They
yes.
coach us.
in our
So
parenting.
the reason why I cited who we are and na lola't lola na kami, para rin lang ma-communicate na experience kami on child training. Okay, so first question. Sabi rito, whoever spares the rod hates their children, but the one who loves their children is careful to discipline them. And this is the question. Does this mean rod is a must? Sabi rito, paano kung nakukuha naman ang discipline with stern voice? Not against rod, just really asking. And, thank you for your honesty.
Well, to me, the rod is not usually the first option. Of course, it's you first say it verbally, you warn verbally, and then if the disobedience continues, then I think that's the time I'm going to use the rod.
Like what Gigi said, that's not the first option. Although, again, I don't know, kasi the word here is stern voice. I think the goal is to avoid that you don't have to be stern in telling the child to stop. Kasi syempre, yung unang salita natin, dapat gentle.
And I think the reason why it turns out to be stern or already angry is because the first place the child already disobeyed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, di ba ano yun?
Parang pagka-stern, parang...
parang ganito, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that!
Oh, yeah.
So, I think...
May element na ng frustration.
Yes.
Tsaka
And it shouldn't...
reach that.
Yeah, reach that.
Oh,
Correct.
but that's the goal. Of course, siguro, the first few times, mangyayari yun. But that's why the rod is kind of like something that you'll use to reinforce. And one general thing about discipline, child discipline, is number one, what's important is relationship. We've seen a lot of times or heard a lot of times that the way that love is spelled by kids is T-I-M-E. That's true. Totoo po yun. Kaya nga, relationship doon na-build yung quality time together, quantity time. And I believe quantity and quality, they go together. It can't be just one. Well, ideally, that's the first one, relationship, because you get to observe your kids when you have time for them, when relationship is built. Number 2, about child discipline and the rod is that you need discernment. There's always a battle of discerning whether what your child is doing is out from immaturity or rebellion. Diba? Hindi naman kasi dapat parang trigger happy tayo sa pagrarad. Hindi naman yun ang goal rad daw, sabi ng Bible. Hindi po.
Yeah, sometimes kasi some parents, they think that, let's say, your child knocks down the glass.
Yeah. That's immaturity.
They think it's disobedience.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not following. That's why that happened.
Oh.
So, just like what he said, you have to discern immaturity and rebellion.
Yeah, yun. Kaya, ayun yung next thing. Kasi nga, relationship, discernment, and again, discernment usually, that's very possible when you have relationship and time with your kids. And then the last one is with regards to spanking. I hope we'll err on the side of grace. Kumbaga, iniiwasan natin yung child abuse dito eh. Kaya nga sinasabi natin, hindi tayo dapat namamalo out of anger or frustration. Dapat in the right spirit always. Kaya kung siguro sasabihin nyo, Pastor, sabi mo, discern between immaturity and rebellion. Kaya nga, err on the side of grace. Kung hindi mo makuha, rebellion ba yan o discernment? Be gracious na lang muna tayo. If I may just add lang, yung practical way of doing it. Kasi hindi lang naman yung basta palo din. Siguro, when a child disobeys, of course, you have to talk to her or to him. Dapat eye level, hindi yung parang nakatayo ka na andyan siya na parang intimidating yung dating mo. You have to go down, look at the child's face, and ask the child, do you realize you disobeyed? Parang gano'n. Then, syempre, sasabihin ng bata, yes. And then, when the child admits, then it's the time for the parent to say na, oh, because of that, I have to rod you. So, again, kung toddler yan, ganun din yun. You have to talk to a toddler that way. Although, syempre, di ba, pagka-toddler, hindi naman yung malaking pamalo gagamitin yun. Hindi naman sinturon. Kami nga, di ba, yung mga 1-year-old, 2 years old pa lang yung bata, yung slide ng folder, di ba? Ayun pa lang, tsaka hindi mo naman, the goal is parang masting siya lang, hindi yung parang lalatay, hindi lalatay. Masting lang, magkaroon lang ng konting mag-iiwan ng pain na will make them remind that disobedience does not pay. Then when you talk to the child, then ayun nga, spank. And then after that, you have to assure the child, I love you, that's why I'm doing this. But you have to obey because when you obey, the Lord is pleased. Again, first and foremost, dapat si Lord yung gino-glorify natin dyan. And then you have to obey mom and dad. Parang ganun lang. And then of course, yakapin nyo, siguro punasan nyo yung kanyang luha. Talagang you express love to the child. And hindi yung frustrated kasi ako, tsaka galit ako. Hindi po ganun. When do you start spanking and when do you stop? Okay, so when do we start? Principle yan. Kasi ang tanong, anong age? We can't just put an age. Na pag ang isang bata ay mobile na, meaning he or she can already express her will, her own will, even something that's not under the will of the parents, diba? For example, yung bata nagsisimula ng abutin yung electric fan kahit naka-on, diba? Siyempre, you have to tell the child, don't do it. At pag mobile na siya, meron na siyang ability gawin nun, probably that's a good time to start giving the rod when they disobey. And with regards naman, up to what age? Again, personally tayo, G, di ba? Mga...
I think we stopped around 7.
Oh, 7
When they were
years
7
old.
years old.
Kasi, syempre, mga bata naman. Kasi, remember, sabi sa Ephesians 6, di ba? Do not exasperate. Minsan naman, your children, minsan kasi baka napapahiya na sila. Kaya nga, ang maganda, while they're young, establish the foundation also.
Question is, for older parents, until when should I give financial support to my children? Do I stop supporting them when they start working, or can I still help them out? Well, just like what we mentioned earlier, our children are both adults. Yeah, one is married, she doesn't live with us anymore, and then our son, who's single, still lives with us, and we don't support him anymore when he started working. Mm-hmm. So, because he has work, and I don't see the need for it.
Yeah.
And in fact, I asked him to start sharing in the household expenses when he started working.
Yeah.
Because I want him to learn how to, to budget, how to manage his money. I want him to learn responsibility so that when he's no longer with us, he knows what to do.
Yeah.
Right? But to me, I don't see any problem in supporting our children.
Yeah.
If we have the means. But when they start depending on us, I think that's a different story.
Maybe kasi sabi rito, do I stop supporting when they start working? Ang question ko, paano kung 50 years old mag-start ng work yan? My opinion, which is, I think we're operating under the principle of the word, which is a child act mature when the age requires that they have to be mature, di ba? Kaya nga may word sila ngayon, adulting.
Yeah, even when they were still in school, in college, we're telling them,
Once you graduate.
We support you financially, we give you your allowance, but once you graduate and you start working, and you have to immediately start working when you graduate, then, financial support will stop.
Yeah. Of course, generosity is always right. Di ba? Kaya nga, hindi ko naman sila binibuild dun sa kanilang breakfast after graduation. So, ayun lang. I just want to clarify out from the question. Baka kasi pag-work, kaya petiks di ba? Hanggang bored na, saka lang maghahanap ng trabaho, which is na-bore nung 40 years old. That's not right. So, the goal is help them to mature. There's another question here. It says, my brother is separated and sometimes mas ako pa ang nag-aalaga sa niece ko who is now 16 years old, a teenager. Iniisip ko, tama pa ba ang ginagawa ko? Kasi parang nakikialam ako sa parenting style ng bro ko. Pinagsasabihan ko rin ang isa ko pang kapatid, a sister, sa observations ko sa mga anak niya. With good intentions naman. Tama ba ang ginagawa ko? Okay. Number one, if you are a single person and you're doing this to parents, kahit na sabihin na natin, younger siblings, I don't think you should sound like an expert. And in connection to that, siguro, you should not come across na mas alam mo pa kung papaano. Okay? I'm not trying to rebuke ha. Parang gusto ko lang i-mention yan. Number two, siguro, especially do sa teenager, you can just, siguro, teach, coach, without undermining the authority of your brother. Hindi yung, kasi yung daddy mo, hindi niya alam yan. Hindi yung ganon.
Kahit na minsan feeling mo, mali yung ginagawa, siguro you just have to talk to your brother about it, but not directly telling the child that what your father is doing is wrong.
Do not undermine. Siguro parang out of relationship na uncle, niece, coachan mo siya, maganda nga, you talk to her about the Bible. Siguro better pa, with regards to your brother, reach out to him. Alam ko naman siguro pinagpe-pray mo siya na ma-save din siya or ma-disciple din. That's the best route for you between you and your brother. But again, do sa teenager, ayun nga gusto natin ma-reach out yung mga bata. Okay, there's another question here. How do I start sharing Jesus to my very young children? You have to create an awareness of God in the family. Diba? Like, siguro yung mga may mga reading materials, diba? Na about Jesus. And the parents should also live that kind of life. Diba? Na may sinabi ka kanina, yung more caught than taught. They'll part of the awareness is they'll see that you really live a Christian life. Diba? Na you love the Lord, nagpe-pray kayo together. Diba? But of course, after creating that atmosphere, you have to be deliberate. There's what we use here in Victory, and I'm sure you know it. Kung hindi pa, you can ask your Victory group leader about it. Yung tinatawag nating 2-verse evangelism. Diba? It's very simple, even a child can understand. I just want to say that it has an illustration of the bridge in the two parts, like this is God, this is you. Jesus is the one who acts as a bridge between God and us. That's just an overview. But it's graphic. May mga illustration yan. Idodrawing mo yun. And then you'll just quote two verses, very simple verses, Romans 3:23 and Romans 6:23. So again, if you're curious how to do that, probably you could ask someone who can give you a crash course on the two-verse evangelism and the bridge illustration. So basically, ayun ang mahalaga, to start preaching the gospel to your younger children, that atmosphere of awareness of God, and then deliberately preach the gospel. Okay, before we go, I just want to say that as Christian parents, you cannot give what you do not have. Meaning, dapat tayong mga parents, disciple muna ni Lord bago tayo may ipasa sa ating mga anak.
That's why, to me, it's very important to be part of a victory group. We have to be connected because it's through victory groups that we can share our lives, and we can be mentored, and we can run to for help.
Yeah, like advice, diba, coaching. And it's important to live the faith with other friends also, or co-members in a victory
Yeah,
group.
because we can't do it alone.
Yeah.
We need one another. We need each other's support for us to be able to be good parents.
Yeah. Kasi kami rin mismo, ang experience namin eh. We have the principles, but how do you live that out? And it happened because of discipleship. It happened because we're connected to our victory groups, discipleship groups. But yeah, thank you so much, you parents. Thank you for your questions. Alam ko na you want to please the Lord. Kaya kayo nagtatanong, you want to be guided. God bless you.